Hi, in this video, I'm gonna show you the academic paper analysis and generation that I created. So what I did this, I analyzed over 5,000 articles from IEEE Access. Those articles I downloaded from 2025, the best articles of them. In 2025, the average acceptance rate of articles that was published was around 13,000. I got a sample of that data to understand the patterns, understand the average size of the introduction, abstract, the methodologies, understand what kind of research they're doing. So this tool helps to understand this analysis, helps to understand the gaps. So what can be work and what I can do in the future to continue the research. And also you can generate an article, pretty much a draft article, because there's a lot of citation need to be double checked and also experiment. But at least this gives you a base ground for you to kick off your project. So the first step that I did, I get all that unstructured data, over 5,000 articles, and I chunk it and embed this into a vector database. After that, I create a system that we're able to use LLM to retrieve that chunk data and create this RAG chatbot that can understand that and improve that. Also, I create an agentic layer that you can search for external sources and embed that. That's a very simple way to do that, because I use API and LLM to integrate that. I believe there's a lot of things that can be done in the future to improve and go even deeper. With that being said, I'm going to explain a little bit of infrastructure that I have. Then I'm going to go over the tabs that I created, the tools that I created. And we're going to generate an article, and we're going to evaluate this article within the platform, and also going to do a sanity check to see the results. So first, I'm going to just show you my quadrant. So I put everything on the quadrant. So I have a lot of data points here. So I have all the chunks here. Another layer that I did as well, once I transferred this to quadrant, is I saved the metadata for the articles. So I have a JSON file with the title of the article, the authors, the year. So this helps me to search and put the correct references later. The first tool I'm going to show to you is the paper analysis and Q&A. So pretty much it is a RAG chatbot that you can ask questions. So I have one question here that I already tested and validated. It's very interesting. Review the articles and extract the top 10 research gaps and feature opportunities that emerge across video in education, AI, video production models, and multimodal chatbots. I can choose here what kind of LLM I can choose it. So I'm going to go with the ChatGPT. I have also local models as well, such as Olama. Here I can add, I can select how many retrievals, so how big I want to do this research. So I want to get this from 80 papers, and I'm going to put 80 on creativity, and I'm going to run. So what's happening is it is using the LLM to prompt the question and enhance the search on the vector database. So here we have some ideas of topics. Based on the provided answer, academic papers, here's some future research gaps and future opportunities have been identified on the field of education, blah, blah. So we have one here, scalability and integration AI in education, by LLMs showing the promise education context. There's a gap understanding how those technologies can be identified and scale. And I have here the sources. So for example, I have source number 60 and 64, and I can cross-reference this file with my files there. So let's save this for now. I'm gonna save this for now. That's the first tool. So pretty much on this first tool, you can ask questions, and I'm gonna give you some ideas. The second one, I think it's a very interesting one. It is the Paper Explorer. So I can I can ask a specific topic and can bring some papers around that topic. So let's put here the AI in the education. Let's bring this up to 20, 25 papers. So sentiment analysis on YouTube education for videos, the correlation between educators. But on the research analysis, this gives a landscape. So let's get the same. Let's change for another topic, word models. Click to run the analysis. So it's gonna get 5 themes, related themes. Here we're gonna research top 10 influential papers related to these themes, and here the total max of paper analysis. So how far we wanna reach. So from 200 papers, they're gonna select the top 5, and those top 5, we need to find all the related themes. So pretty much a funnel. I think it's running here on my local model. So gonna take a couple seconds. Okay, so we have here, those are the topics. So it gives the themes related to those topics. Here have more information. And here we have the visualization of it. So let's say here, I'm gonna go to this section right here. I have those topics related to each other. This one is from enhanced text to image. This one, autonomous drone systems for real-time highway. This one, reinforcement learning. So here we're able to visualize in 3D the connections between the papers. See how close they are with the themes. These ones are really more spread. This one is also more spread. So I see on this topic, which is autonomous and environments, they have very similar themes. So we can go deep into this area and understand the relation. So the idea here is for you to read one by one and deeply understand that. And I can also download this map as well, and I have it here. Okay, so next one, it is the more interesting one. I really like this one. So remember that we had our idea of article that has a gap on it, and based on the research, we understand there's a gap between AI and education. It gives some 2 or 3 sources saying that's a gap. So now we're gonna build an article on top of this. I can run my local models, or I'm gonna use the chat OpenAI 4.1 to run this. I'm gonna make a smaller one right here. Here I can select how technical depth that I want. So here, let's push to the limit. Extreme research. Here I'll leave as default to academic style. So this is the template that I created based on the analysis. We're gonna go over the analysis in the last 2. So here I can select how many papers I wanna add to cite. So let's put here 50 papers, chunk per average per paper. So I'm gonna put 10, so I'm gonna get the max of this. Here we're gonna push the mathematic functions. Here, if it is disabled, the LM is not gonna generate any data. If I wanna generate data just for representation, I will do it. So pretty much on my analysis, all the IEEE papers that I got, 99% is mathematics. And for the data, at least 59 brings some type of data. So that's super, super important. So yeah, let's click here to generate. If you wanna take a look more, have more information here, breakdown of the quality benchmark from the research of those papers that I got. And here, what the LLM is doing is searching for 50 articles on my database and understand and get all the 10 chunks from those 50 articles, analyzing it and building my article on top of this based on the template that I already have. You can see the template here. So that's the template that I created to specify the word count, the tone. So this template was created by my research based on the patterns on those articles. So for each step of the way, it is breaking down into pieces. So have the methodology, the background, and attaching the references within the text. So not only attaching the references, the citations, but actually building the article on top of that. So it understands the entire paper and it understands the pieces of references and building the article based on the internal knowledge. Okay, so we have here the first version. I can give some information here about the paper, some arrows and some notes. I already have some mathematical functions here. Let's see what I have here. Sometimes they also output tables. Yeah, I see a table here with synthetic data. Have more tables here, limitation, discussions, another mathematical function here, feature research. And you see it's not perfect yet. We have, for example, mathematical functions on the conclusions, too big, but we have already the references already here. If you want to do a first comparison right now, let's see, background. Let me get this first sentence here. Let's see if that's valid. So we're going to do a sanity check on the reference that I have so far. So let me open Perplexity here. So I put the paragraph that we have, the reference number 1. And I'm going to ask, is this related to the work? And let me get the reference number 1 here. That's reference number 1. Is this reference that's it. Let's do a sanity check if it is making sense. Searching the IEEE, the document here. Yes, the reference is related to work and appears to be appropriate in citation. Perfect. So we just did one test here. So ideally, the next steps would be to manually verify, validate the data, see if it's making sense, and read article by article and double check everything. But we don't stop here because right now this is only the first step. This is only the base of our internal knowledge. And this is only for 2025. There's some 2024 articles that I was testing around 150, 250 that I added. But we need to be not biased to IEEE because on our analysis, you can see we have archive and other journals as well. So IEEE represents only the reference 28%. So we need to get from different journals, different sources. That's why it's very important the next step here. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to pull, I'm going to run keyword analysis. So I'm going to get total of 20 keywords. Let's push the most technical as possible. Let's put also the max 6 words per keyword max. What this is doing, I'm using LLM to review all my document, my entire document here, not the references, the document itself, and get the keywords. Why this is important? So I have the keywords such as scalable framework, large language models, personalized learning paths. So I didn't like this one. I didn't like this one. But I like personalized learning paths, adaptive learning system, user engagement, could be interesting for this, and integration. So I just removed the buzzwords, and I think it's good to go. So I have around 18 keywords here, and I'm gonna use this Semantic Scholar API to pull articles related to this. So I can select the range. I put this default range because based on analysis, the best is between 2025 and 2024 and 2017. I can set up the score, the relevancy score, default study. That's a good number. And let's put like 2027, 2025, and let's run. And I can put here to exclude generic text. For example, some of them is like LLMs, you know, so let's do like a very good quality here. And we have some links here. Let's take a look where this is coming from. This is a credible source. This is the paper. So it's getting the information from the paper and attaching here. Perfect, that's what we're looking for. So I can go one by one and see if that makes sense. I can include those. And now we need to integrate. So now we need to integrate those 5 external sources inside our article that has already around 80, this is missing reference, around 50 papers. So let's run this integration now. I'm going to use OpenAI again, and let's start the integration. So we're pulling the information from that and adding more. So I'm telling strict for don't change anything, don't do any improvements at this point. It is just to get the new sources and make the necessary adjustments to enhance our first version. Section, have conclusion, 26 or 26. I'm going to conclude this integration. Perfect. Now I have integration. I have 100% integration integrated, so it matches the keywords and the articles with the paper here. If you scroll down here, we can also do the verification as well. Here we have the list of the base that I have for internal, and that's external. Since I already removed some of them as it went for this new process, probably did already analysis and already removed some things that is very out of context from this new pass. And now you see still not making much sense. It's not following the structure that we're looking for. For example, that's a huge introduction. It's very broken, and I don't want to have a formula on my abstract. So let's go for the last step. It is define refinement. 8th step, I can download the PDF. For example, I can see here and markdown file as well. So let's go to step number 5. So OpenAI ChatGPT 4.0, this is the target word, so I can increase that. I can put insert more citation within the text if that's necessary still. I have my custom prompt here. I have my source of truth to improve my prompt. So let's run the refinement now. Again, same process. I'm going to go step by step, but as you can see here, I already got the recommendations from the improvements. So we're going to go one by one and make the improvements for what we should have, what should not have. The sentences, do not add this. And I already did the analysis. So we have a current, for example, of an abstract of 186 words. The target is 60. So we need to reduce X amount of words. Perfect. Now we reduce for this amount. We have the introduction here, and we still have the references citing in here. Perfect. Tables here, discussion, feature discussions. There's still some work that needs to be done. It's not perfect, but yeah, have our paper with 33 references. I click here to download, and now so I'm gonna have there's the markdown, and I'm gonna download the PDF as well. Let's see our work. That's our final version. Again, we need to get this as a base and start to do a deeper research, understand how is understand if the formulas make sense, understand how this research was done, and what is the next steps, how you can reproduce this and verify if what the LLM generated it is making sense or not. So that's now I'm going to go the human on the loop to fix and improve. But pretty much we have everything here ready and good to go. Last step here, we're going to do the final analysis. I'm going to upload, let me just select here our LLM. Let me upload our MD file. It works better with our MD file. and it's going to be giving a rate of what our analysis. So this one's 72 borderline, so it's not great. And why it's not great? Because the technical, the references quality is not there yet. The figures, there's no below the range, there's no figures, there's one table only. So it gives what can be improved, and also have all the metrics that I need to know as well. And I can download my report here, so then I can check and do my analysis right here.